Hi, everyone. This is Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another edition of Monday Morning Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about everything USA immigration related. So, you know how I am. I like to just dive right on in. And the first thing I want to talk with y'all about this morning is the current citizenship application. So, we are seeing those two along with many of the other applications. They are extremely backlogged, but we got a bit of good news from the Immigration Service along with a plan. So there are certain immigration offices which are there to help process and move cases along that are specifically U.S. citizenship applications. We just got word that those offices are now 100% staffed. As I've been saying for quite some time now, COVID has impacted staffing levels within the agency, but now some of those offices are now 100% fully staffed. And so we are looking at, according to the Immigration Service, they are looking at eliminating and eradicating the backlog for U.S. citizenship cases within a few months. So hopefully over the next few months, I will be detailing for you that we are indeed actually seeing those cases sped up and the backlog over on those cases. So that would be great news. So I'm excited that they are 100% staffed, even more excited that they have a plan to get through the citizenship cases. The next thing I want to talk to y'all about this morning are H-1Bs and the lottery. I know y'all are super tired of hearing me talk about them, but I'm not done yet. So last weekend, we saw H-1B lottery selections rolling in well in advance of the March 31st date that the Immigration Service told us that they would be running the lottery and notifying us of the selections. Well, the lottery has been run. So if you have not checked your My USCIS account, please check your My USCIS account to find out whether or not your registration was selected. Log in, look under status. If your status has changed from submitted to selected, then your H-1B registration was selected and you may now go ahead and file your full H-1B application. If your status type is still showing as submitted, that means your application was in fact not selected. Now, we do know that the past couple of years, we have seen the agency run the lottery twice. And in fact, last fiscal year, they ran the lottery 3 times. While that is absolutely not a guarantee that they will have to run the lottery again, it may happen. So we can still keep our fingers crossed. We can still hope that we will see another lottery run. But again, that is not a guarantee. So if you haven't started thinking about a plan B in terms of what you're going to do now that you are not selected, now is certainly the time to do that, especially for our F1 students whose OPT is expiring maybe sometime between May and July of this year. So if you have any questions about the H-1B lottery, and if you weren't selected and you need help coming up with a plan B, feel free to give my office a call, 954-903-1337. Now, the next thing I want to talk to y'all about are backlogs in general, just across the agency. And again, you've heard me talk for months and months and months about the backlogs within the agency. So the agency has now established cycle time goals, which is frankly a very fancy way of saying processing time goals, which is an even more fancier way of saying they're trying to reduce the backlog. So that's what they're trying to do, but they are trying to do it in a very systematic way, and they established what they're calling cycle time goals. So some of the cycle time goals I will give you, certainly not all of them, because I want you guys to be able to get back to work. But the cycle time goals are applications that are not using the premium processing expedite option that we do have for some of our applications. So for the I-129 applications, and several visa categories use the I-129 form, but my clients, I think, really want to hear about H-1B, L-1, and O-1. Their cycle time goal will be 2 months. So anything on the I-129 application, the cycle time goal is 2 months. Advanced parole and work authorization, which we know are taking an extraordinarily long time right now. Those cycle time goals are all the way back to 3 months, because frankly, we are currently seeing between 10 and 12 months right now. So to get to a cycle time goal of 3 months would be great for those. So much easier for employers and employees to plan employment if they're only waiting 3 months for those documents. And U.S. citizenship applications and immediate relative and fiance applications, the cycle time goal that we are looking at is 6 months. So as you can see, those cycle time goals or those processing time goals are significantly faster than what we are currently seeing. And they would certainly bring them back more in line with some of the processing times that we were seeing pre-pandemic, so pre-March of 2020. So fingers crossed that those goals are met and met fairly quickly. Last Monday, I talked about how USCIS was allowing additional time to respond to requests for additional evidence, notices, notice of intent to deny, notice of intent to revoke, and filing notices of appeal. But that time frame had expired as of my last Monday chat with you all. Well, Immigration has released a new notice that essentially extends that what's really for most of these responses a 60-day response time. So for your request for additional evidence, your notice of intent to deny, your notice of intent to revoke, we are now extending that response flexibility time. It is still 60 days past the initially stated due date. And that is for anything that was dated from March of 2020 up through and including July 25th of this year. So if you have a notice from the Immigration Service that's dated up until July 25th of this year, and it's an RFE, it's a notice of intent to deny, notice of intent to revoke, you will have an extra 60 days. For the notice of appeal, that you are given 90 days from the notice date itself, and that is from applications dated or responses dated from November 1st, 2021 to July 25th, 2022. So those are important dates to keep in mind, but the agency is still understanding that it is taking us a little bit longer to not only respond, but to obtain documents. Sometimes we've got to obtain documents from overseas. And so I think it's been great that they have given us this extra time in order to obtain those documents and to work with our clients to get those responses in. We have talked a little bit about over the past couple of months over the credit card pilot program, which is a program that the agency is running across various offices, notably the service centers, whereby they are expanding the number of applications and application types of which they are accepting credit card payments for the filing fees. So they are now expanding that program one more time, and now all service centers are accepting credit card payments for all of the forms. Of course, there is a form that you need to submit with all of your credit card details. And so that is all of the service centers and all of the forms that they are currently processing at those service centers. So that is an option. You may still send in paper checks if you wish, but this pilot program is their look at how they can start to accept more online payments, more credit card payments. And I think they're probably looking to slowly move away from paper payments, so moving slowly away from checks. So just an FYI, I personally think that's where they're going with this. So just so that you know, this credit card pilot program has been in existence for a little while now, and they are expanding it rapidly. The last thing I wanted to talk to y'all about this morning is premium processing. So several months ago, I had mentioned that the Immigration Service was going to be expanding their premium processing offerings. Premium processing is currently in place for several visa categories, work authorized visa categories, non-immigrant categories, as well as some of the employment-based green card applications. Premium processing is a way to expedite the processing of your application. There is an extra governmental filing fee involved, and that program allows for your application to receive some sort of response within 15 calendar days. So, whether that response is an approval, a denial, a request for additional evidence, you do hear back from the service within 15 days, 15 calendar days. So, given the extensive backlogs that we have currently been under, I know a lot of my clients are who are eligible for premium processing have definitely requested it so that they could have some amount of ability to plan and move quickly when they have candidates that they are hiring or individuals that they're bringing in from overseas operations. So we are looking at an expansion of the types of applications that will now be eligible for premium processing. And they are looking at phasing those in slowly, beginning in fiscal year 2022. One thing that they have made very clear, that Congress made very clear, is that they wanted to expand premium processing, but at the same time, not have those applications that were not filed using premium processing suffer and take longer to adjudicate those non-premium processing applications. So that is certainly good news. We are looking at them expanding the 539 application, which is a change of status. So if you're moving from, let's say, a visitor visa to a student visa, that's done on an I-539. So that potentially will be eligible for premium processing. When you are a dependent, let's say you're an H4 or you are an L2, you are dependents in those categories. When you are extending your H4, your L2 status, that is also done on a 539. So we're looking at those potentially being eligible for premium processing fairly quickly. We're also they're also looking at expanding premium processing to EAD cards, so our employment authorization documents, those cards which are currently taking 10 to 12 months, and in some cases causing people a lapse in work authorization because of the processing times. We're looking at being able to use the premium processing program for those applications. And we are also looking at premium processing to be rolled out for some more employment-based green card applications. So I will definitely keep you updated as that premium processing expansion rolls out. I think that will be really a benefit to many, many employers and employees who are looking to plan their staffing levels and their projects. So, I get a lot of calls from managers, from global mobility specialists, and from in-house counsel, and from the heads of HR who are, trying to plan when individuals will be starting at the company based upon the processing time. So this will help give them a little bit more clarity so that they can plan internally. So if you have any questions about current processing times, you have a request for further evidence, you're not quite sure how to respond or even when it's due, please feel free to give my office a call at 954-903-1337. And I am Carol Williams from Williams Immigration with another wonderful Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and a great rest of your week.